R-O-L. Everybody ready?
Sure.
I guess so.
All right, good. Stand over here, Mr. Nelson, please. Start up the, we're not over here. Let's take it off the table and just like smack it. Don't even apologize for it. Boom.
Now?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Whoa. Wait. We weren't starting there? We're on now? Folks, there is a Mr. Nelson here to see you. Mr. Nelson, please see yourself.
Caleb Nelson, nice to meet you.
Josh, nice to meet you.
Jessica, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Shayla, nice to meet you. Why don't you have a seat?
How's everyone doing today? You guys liking the cold weather? Waiting for some snowfall? Maybe?
I'm actually excited. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
a lot of snowboarders getting excited for Zoomies.
Yeah.
I start selling snowboards and things.
I love that stuff.
All right. Well, what I'm here today to let you guys know is Flossie Clothing Company is a company that we pride ourselves on our streetwear and our fresh designs, and we've come to basically show a couple different products and styles and unique designs that our in-house designers have collaborated with other artists and collaborative artists and street artists to make this sort of unique design of streetwear. And I think Zoomies honestly would be a very good retail for it because they focus mostly on skate and snowboarding and those sort of action sports things, where there's still a large market of people who want to shop at Zoomies that don't snowboard or skateboard, but don't want to wear the clothing brands of those who do, because who knows, they might get called a poser by their friends or something like that sort of thing. So basically, is what I was mainly wondering is for you guys is what's some of your major competition for other stores and other retail stores that take away from you guys?
I know DC is a very big competitor. We always are competing with them for new markets or new target customers, stuff like that.
What about like retail stores, like other stores that are in the mall usually, or is there like I often see like Zoomies is right next to Pacific somewhere. That's another like
Agree about that.
another like urban often clothing company that like sells similar clothes to Zoomies.
I know there's like there's this one store in the mall called Against All Odds. It's not really much of an action sports, but it is urban outfits. And as we try to go into the urban outfit branch, that's again we have to compete with them. So there's another competitor.
Do you often see that people when they're shopping inside Zoomies, if they don't snowboard or skateboard, that they can find clothes that they would normally like to wear, or is it more geared towards only one specific type of clothing?
Well, I mean, I think it's geared towards a lot of things. I mean, a lot of the people who go in the Zoomies and stuff like that, they're fans of professional snowboarders or skiers or action sports like that. So they already know kind of like what they wear. They're fans of it. So I mean, they'll still wear it even though they might not like actually compete in the sport. But I mean, they still like our brand.
And I think the challenge with all of our clothes is that you can either come to Zoomies and buy something with your really bold designs and your name brands, and you're going to pay a premium for that. Our challenge is sort of gaining those customers to come to us as opposed to going to a normal retailer and buying essentially the same things minus those features.
So what we've done at Flossie basically is we've had just a large online market. We don't have any retail stores yet. We're still a small clothing company, so it's kind of been hard to get started, but we pride ourselves on quality of our clothing. We make sweatshirts and long sleeves and hats and all sorts of things like that we use top grade materials. Like I have an example right here of a sweatshirt, just like blank canvas one. We don't have any logos on it yet, and it's made with 100% virgin fibers with organic cotton, just to ensure like the most comfort and thing like that. And the long sleeve shirts that we use is we do a cross-grained cotton technology, which just gives it like a more durable strength, as you can feel.
It does feel
so
a lot stronger.
and it tends to be, the prices are like more quality, but with these types of products, with these unique streetwear sort of companies, they have to be you have to create clothes that have that sort of feel. And having a sort of like having a top luxury product is what brings the appeal in a way.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You said yours is strictly online, right? How are you going to, I'll say, maximize satisfaction, know that the customers are actually having the size that fits them? Because I know, like, when I go shopping, I won't leave the store unless I try it on first.
Right. Well, we do have sizing charts on our website and everything. So it says, like, if you're a waist 32, this pant size for this type of thing might like we have a whole sizing chart so you can kind of fit. And we also have a very good return policy with a good customer service. So we've had a positive feedback. And we already have a large amount of people who have been ordering from us and that already kind of know our name. And we've created a brand like the Flossie brand in a way as an image and has like that logo. I mean, I don't obviously have a logo present, but it's one of those companies that prides itself on a brand. And we actually did surveys with customers that like your target market that would normally be shopping at Zoomies and what they look for when they shop. And the main thing that, like, say for like a hat, when customers were looking, was they wanted to see if it was a unique design so they knew that if they were wearing something it wasn't worn by every other kid that they're seeing in their thing. Because I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've bought a hat from a store before, like Pacific somewhere, for example, and then I saw a 10-year-old kid wearing it in line next to me, and I felt slightly less cool wearing it. So part of the cool aspect that kids are looking for is something that not everyone has. And that's honestly what our products are like we offer, because every line we redesign everything, as well as collaborating with other artists. Like we've done something with Kith. They're a Brooklyn-based streetwear company where they do a lot of like sweatpants, and they're very like high-end luxury, and like they have a very specific target market with people who have money that buy there. But since we've collabed with them, we've also opened up our whole market to like that sort of thing, and we think that bringing this to Zoomies would be the best retail store for us to expand. Do you guys think you'd be interested in possibly working upon a contract where we could discuss, or is there any?
What's your goal out of this whole thing? Like, what do you want?
Well, what we wanted was to have a retail store where we could have our brand out there, where people could maybe go in and try on things and not just see it online, as well as we could do our product and line drops at your store. So with this like unique products, there's a lot of hype that comes with things that you kind of can't, like if they're limited run, like you can't have it and people want it when it comes out. So we were thinking that Zoomies would be a great store where we could release our product lines at certain stores in Zoomies in big cities, and the first come first serve for certain hats and products that we did with our collaborative artists that are rare and things like that could be purchased at Zoomies, as opposed to online where everyone just, when we release it, our server has actually even crashed before because so many people are trying to buy products at one time.
What do you do to fix that? Like, how long did it take you to?
It was honestly, it was just like an overload of website traffic. So it was we could sort through it. Like our technical support team's really good, but we wanted it wasn't something we anticipated. We just didn't know how many people were really going to want to buy our products. But now that we know that we have this large market, we were kind of searching for an area, like a place where we could have our product releases done live in person, where people could go and there could be like a culture behind the release of the clothing.
I think my biggest concern is you're jumping from straight online into a retail setting, and the supply chain is massively different. I mean, you're going from in-house production and distribution to now you have to give me X amount of T-shirts across all 500 of my stores.
Well, what we were planning on doing is actually still staying as a smaller company where it's going to be limited run. It's not going to be because the point was we want kids to be able to have a hat that they know that everyone is going to be wearing the exact same one. So if we sell the exact same product at every location across Zoomies, it's going to be that same sort of style like already. Like Obey Clothing is a company who I know that Azumi sells, and they've done very well for themselves, but they're a national brand, and they're a company that is sold everywhere. But if we did this with Flossie, we could still stay as a little company, and with Zoomies' help, if we were to sign a contract, we could determine which stores get the most traffic to do product release lines, and then once that stock is sold out, we wouldn't be putting out any more till our next line.
Let me ask you a dumb question.
Yeah.
Why would I put your t-shirt company in my store and sell a couple hundred t-shirts when I could go to another competitor who is looking to sell as many t-shirts as possible?
Because I was actually hoping you'd ask something like that. With that, you still make the exact same amount of profit. You have a set amount of money that you know you're going to make, because I guarantee you the t-shirts will sell out. They always have on our store, so if we start selling them in-store at Zoomies, like the same exact thing will happen, and the hype that's created over it is going to generate a lot more traffic into Zoomies stores, as well as like people now are going to know and recognize Zoomies as a company that sells streetwear, not just skate and snowboard and that sort of thing. So I think it's a whole other market that Zoomies is missing out on, that with this new emerging market, basically, that they could capitalize on.
You said you limited time sales. Like, when do you plan on releasing new lines?
We have a fall and summer line, and then we have spring and summer line and a fall and winter line. And
So once every
during
quarter.
during there, and it's usually like we do it every like 2 weeks. We release some new things, so we have like our whole product catalog that you could show, and we have on our website is what we do. And then every like 3 weeks, some new long sleeve shirts are released and some new sweatshirts are released. But beforehand, people know that they're going to be released those days.
So like, let me clarify this. Like, so you're pretty much selling throughout the whole year, but it's just different products.
Exactly,
Okay,
and
so
it's still
sales
so it'd still be constantly being sold, but
Okay,
it's a
I got
new
you
thing
there.
every time. So it's not just a T-shirt that says our name on it once, like in one place, and that's going to be sold all year. It might be there, and then we might have a different logo. Or there might be a collaborative artist that works on a shirt where it has their logo and our logo on the same thing, and that could draw like. I've been contacting Nike to do a collab between Flossie and Nike for some shoes, possibly. There's a company called Supreme that just did Air Force Ones with them, and they sold out and are selling on eBay right now for. They retailed at $150, and they are selling on eBay right now for over $1,000 because of this like hype kind of that gets generated, and that's the similar branding similar thing that our brand brings, and I think Zoomies would be. Honestly, a very good retail company to bring that.
Okay.
You guys have any other questions? You guys want to
Sure.
discuss our pricing or things like that?
I think you're well aware of the fact that there's 8 to 10 designers that walk into my company every week looking to sell their products.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the reason why I should choose your product over theirs. What makes you you?
Alrighty. What sets us apart, honestly, from all the other small clothing companies is that we have worked with collaborative artists, and we already have our brand as created as the streetwear kind of hype built, and the custom designs that we bring are honestly like, and the quality of our clothing, like it is a more of a luxury quality. Like when we buy our basic hoodies, for us they cost us $30. Pardon me. But when we sell them, they sell for $70, which is more than the regular one. But you have the Flossie brand, and it's the quality of like the cost. It's every other sweatshirt and clothing company that's probably coming to you makes their sweatshirts for $10, and they're not as comfortable, and they don't put nearly as much effort into the work and design of it, and it doesn't honestly seem as elite as our brand does.
So you're telling me that your products have a product margin of approximately 110%?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're sure that you can achieve that?
Yes.
How
We have
far-
so far.
How far in advance do your artists plan out your lines?
We're constantly contacting them and working with them. We try to do it like with them like 6 months to a year before. Like right now, we're working on our summer stuff and our spring stuff. We already have a lot of ideas for like windbreakers when the spring time comes out with our designs, and as well as we've contacted Shepard Fairey. He's the guy who made he's the founder of Obey Clothing as well. So we're doing a collab with them. He's also created tons of propaganda posters, like the Obama campaign Hope poster was designed by him. So having a designer like that work on our clothes, I think also could be of great use to Zoomies. And I think they've even had lots of contact with Shepard Fairey as well to work on his products with Zoomies.
Okay, say if we do make this happen, and then you do sell in your stores, or you do sell in our stores, how long would it take for you to get your products to our stores? How long would that take? And what happens if say like a truck doesn't come and we don't have we don't have your shipment right there. I mean, we're kind of like,
We have a very good logistics team that works. We have a graduate actually from Michigan State who's on our team for packaging because we pride ourselves on packaging because we've been an online company. So when we want to ship things out, we've been very, we haven't been very sparing with our materials that we use for it. We make sure that we use like a lot and to make sure it's more of a luxury product when you're opening it up, as well as our one packaging science employee can operate on all sorts of logistics and make sure that all trucks will get out to Zoomies on time and everything like that. We would make sure if we were going to do a product release line that we could get all of our products there.
can you guarantee that your products will be handled, shipped with care? Because like you see those videos where like some UPS guy takes it, like a big old TV and just chuck. I know it's a different thing, but like the same concept. We want, we want to get the best quality for our customers.
Yeah, we know that distribution environment and logistics, there's all sorts of hazards that come, and we honestly account for it with our shipping of our products. Is we know the proper filling and the dunnage in products to make sure that doesn't rattle around too much and gets protected properly and can make it to your stores on time.
Can we have like, do you have a way where we can like track where when the packages are coming and whatnot, and like where they are and stuff like that?
I could get back to you on that. I'm just a sales rep, and I could talk to my boss about that. I'm not completely sure about the logistics of like when we have our trucks and shipments go out, but I'm sure when a truck leaves with our shipments, you could probably track it and know when it was coming.
Okay.
So I guess my last question is, and Caleb, I do want to say that I think you're doing a great job. I think we're really understanding where you're coming from. And I like your designs now. What is your company doing that's going to make your designs relevant now, is going to be relevant in a year, and is going to be relevant in 5 years? I need to make sure that I don't want to sign a contract with you and only be selling you T-shirts for 6 months. I want to make sure that they're relevant for as long as possible.
Right. Well, working with our design team, I know they've been designers for years and have been in the clothing industry for years. Coming from a lot of them actually do skateboard or snowboard because it's a similar streetwear, and the clothing Zoomy sells is similar, which is why I've come here. And the artists, they have just, honestly, they've never disappointed me. They've come out with new creative designs, and then when they are struggling on thinking of something that they want to design, we can contact other companies. And honestly, Zoomies has contracts and sponsorships with massive amounts of companies that I know we could possibly potentially work with if that was something that was in their best interest, as well as Zoomies and ours and things like that. So combining with collaborative artists, like Neff is another company that I know Zoomies prides themselves on selling. It's one of their best-selling snowboarding companies, and they're one of the flashiest, brightest colored, like Riff Raff is their main sponsorship spokesman. He's like the flashiest of anyone. I don't know if you've ever met him. So right there, flossy means flashy. I think like Flossie and Neff could even have a potential design collaboration.
And that's sort of what I'm getting at, is I'm trying to gauge how open you are to having your designers work with my designers. And
definitely,
I really I understand that you guys have your creativity and you do what you want, but at the other end, I sort of need to make sure that's maintaining the Zoomies brand. So as long as you guys are open with working with our design team and meeting with them and making sure that it's the correct fit, I think that's probably the next place to go.
Yeah, most definitely. I honestly like the optimal outcome. What I was hoping in this meeting is that if we could work together honestly and have a contract signed where I could get a line of credit even for Flossie, so we could work on more designs with other artists and things like that, where I could be working directly with Zoomies and selling with other companies that you guys work with as well and other vendors. And I know our designers are completely open with working with other people. They already have many times, and our customers have already enjoyed that. They appreciate it. It's cooler. It ties in two different markets when you do collaborations. I think like the streetwear, if you do it with Neff, then you're gonna have snowboarders and people who like urban streetwear wearing the exact same thing, and then they're interested in each other's thing, and all of it generates more traffic and sales for Zoomies.
Hey guys, any thoughts?
How long would you like this contract to be? How long are you seeking to stay with us for?
The first one I had drafted up was just for 12 months, so we could get both of our releases, our spring and summer and our fall and winter release. we could obviously discuss further after that, but yeah, the contract would be for 12 months for us to do our product releases at your stores and be sharing 20% of all profits during that time. And honestly, the hype and the foot traffic that would be generated are going to be as valuable as the profits.
So I think that we really need to go back and look at the numbers a little more, and I really do want you to meet with my design team and make sure that we're the right fit. I think that's where we need to go for now. It's very hard for us to to commit with you when this is the first time we're meeting. I need to meet your team. I need to meet all sorts of people and make sure that this is correct for Zoomies. With that being said, I think that we're going definitely in the right direction, and I think we'd like to meet with you, as soon as possible, and again, have our design team meet with you.
Definitely. I can have my design team, honestly, have a whole bunch of drafts that I can show you for a whole new line that we want to, honestly, seeing as it's already late and it's getting into the winter, when we work things out, it'll probably be for the spring and summer line, which is what we've been working on. So I can have my design team show you guys drafts at our next meeting, and we can discuss further if our teams could work together.
Well, Caleb, make it happen. This is
All right.
completely up to you. The ball's in your court now. So, make it happen in process, and we'll see what we can do.
And next time, can we get an answer about that whole tracking thing?
Definitely.
That's the one little thing. It's the only thing that's
sure. I know. Yeah, I know the kid from Michigan State's got he knows everything about packaging and logistics. So I'll make sure he's at our next meeting to discuss that.
There we go.
All right. Thanks.
Caleb, thank you so much.
Yeah, nice meeting you guys.
Nice to meet you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
You want this still going?
Leave it on for a sec.
Yep.
That's cheap. Miss Schwo, what'd you think about that?
That was really good. You definitely knew about your products, especially as you were bringing your products out and displaying them. I really liked the fact that you brought the physical product itself, because I don't think I've seen anybody else do that yet.
Yeah.
So that was really nice. You did seem quite nervous
Yeah.
a lot though for it, so you were kind of tripping over your words.
Yeah,
Which is
there's a couple
understandable.
times where some thoughts were getting jumbled and I was trying to straighten it out, but there's a GoPro right in my face.
Yeah.
And I think you got a little distracted by having your laptop up.
Yeah.
Because you looked at them for a minute, but then you look back at the laptop even though the screen hasn't changed.
Yeah.
I wanted to have printed out materials, but the lab in the business building was closed, so I just figured laptop. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I didn't think it was really distracting. I did feel like a little cut off.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was.
I was gonna potentially show you guys stuff, but I didn't. I don't have. I'm not an actual clothing designer. I don't have clothing designs to show you, or a logo or anything. I'm just all made up. But
Yeah, you had us fooled. Ms. Freeman, what'd you think?
I thought it was pretty good. You just got your hands were underneath the table.
Mhm.
I saw you were using your hands very well when you were talking, but you had them underneath the table, so it's not something they were seeing as you were talking.
Yeah, I think there's a message behind that. I have a theory about that. I'll let you know about what that is in a second. That was a good observation. Maglio, what'd you think about that? I'm working on it.
I'll tell you what I think about that.
okay.
Well, okay. I think you were really prepared for the proposal, but not very prepared for the presentation. Like what Hannah said, the laptop. I would just, if you don't have the printed materials, I would just, you seem like you knew the product, you knew what you were selling, you knew the benefits of it. I would just axe it completely, just keep it out of there. Especially since it wasn't turned towards them. The least you could have done was a slideshow presentation of the stuff. I mean, you did have a lot of text on it though, so that wouldn't.
Yeah, I didn't want to
take it
get
out.
boring with it and make
just
a
trust yourself,
PowerPoint.
believe
Yeah.
you know your product. You did a 10-page proposal about it or something. So, I think it was really. I think it made it look like you weren't prepared when I think you were.
Yeah. Okay.
And I also think the clothes, man, you should have ironed them and folded them. They look like you just picked them up in your laundry.
No, you mean the clothes he's displaying or his
Yeah.
clothes?
No,
well,
the clothes he was using as visual aid.
Oh yeah, well because I don't really have actual designs, and I was trying to think of a visual aid I could have brought, but
I know.
but
I'm
still.
saying those clothes, the ones that you did choose to bring up,
Yeah.
you could have made them look
Yeah.
throw them on the ground. This is your product.
Yeah.
Whatever.
just have them nicely folded,
Yeah.
ironed.
I mean, I know that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So-
You can stop that one, Jason. Thank you. And let me hear from Victoria Barner.
I definitely agree with them with the computer and having your hands under the table. I think from this angle, I definitely picked up on that Jason was using writing on his like lap. I don't know if you noticed that at all or anything, but I think like maybe if you would have like moved your computer, I don't know, but like definitely noticed that he was like, you know, like pushed back in the corner and maybe tried to like introduce him more to the table more.
And I do want to say that I'm sort of escaping the GoPro as well. That's right. in front of me.
Yeah.
So
That's what I
it wasn't really Caleb as much as it was just the situation.
Yeah, I was trying to signal to you to actually move the GoPro around his laptop a little bit, but I think we got a lot of laptop in the shot. But
Damn
that's okay.
laptop! You should have just told me. I
No,
wouldn't
no,
have
it's
it.
okay. I mean, I don't want to. It's better I don't disturb you. Dan, you were going to say something?
I think having his hands underneath the table is actually kind of like a good move because he was like he said he was nervous, and I saw him fidgeting with his hands. If he had it up
I'm
here and started
squirrely.
fidgeting,
I'm really
I'd be
squirrely.
like this. I was like, this kid's gonna just about pee himself.
I watched the video that when she gave a sales presentation and I was a prospect, and I was like, do I really move around that much when I'm on? Like I realized I was moving when I was talking so much, and I was like, just sit. Like having my hands like
So I
on my
figured
lap was like
having his hands twitch to see how nervous he is underneath the table, so we don't see it as like a power move, kind of showing that he's putting on like a front that he is really confident, really like he's not nervous about this at all. I thought that was a good move.
I'm pretty sure that we're seeing things that you guys aren't seeing from Caleb. And I'll tell
I
you
know,
what
I'm
it
just
is.
thinking from
I'm sorry. go
my
ahead.
view. That's what I
Yeah,
I thought
hear
that
you.
was a good
I
move.
hear you. And what I'm saying is that what we can see that you can't see is that Caleb is like displaying. Remember that exercise we did with the classic, the body language structures. His like feet are back behind that doggone those arms of the chair, and they're like moving them like a lot. So that's like classic holding back. I mean, he's trying to control his hands, and the energy is going all to his feet. He looks like the drummer from Metallica, and he's like, yeah. So that's something you'll want to be checking out. Cause I told Margaret, I said, let's put the camera down so we can get that. There's two things I want to bring up here, Caleb. First, at the very beginning, let's talk about the handshake a minute, and I'll tell you why it was a little weird. While you were presenting, I was going on Google to look up like the order in which you should shake people's hand, and I do believe it's right to left.
He went first though.
He went first, but I do believe. See, there's two things about this. Like in other words, you never want to be like having to go back around and like shake someone else's hand. And always shake the ladies' hands first. I mean, it's just something that if you're gonna.
I did make the first.
Yeah, so you did make the first move, but I mean,
so like.
I'm just saying to us, to me, it just looked. I mean, look like the lady's right there. She's got her hand up. It just looked weirdness. Weirdness.
The only question I have for you is, we know that Dan is, in this presentation, the most important person.
No doubt.
Do you still approach right to left, or do you go for the most important
I'm
person?
thinking so. In other words, you're all in the meeting. He's brought you guys to the meeting. You're parts of it. I don't know. I think in this culture it's still okay to just go right to left.
Yeah. I was going to, like, that was in my mind, was like the natural thing to do, and that I'm like, nope. But like, I figured it was just.
I think if this were had this actually been an actual game situation, it would have been one of those scenes where I would introduce you to the room and then Dan would go up in front of them. So it would be one of those things where he would blatantly have to shake his hand first. There would be no line of people.
Also, I feel like the people I'd be selling to at Zoomies could be like anyone from like very official to be like kicking it on couches or something.
Yeah, wearing pajamas.
Wearing pajamas.
Can I say something?
Please do.
I thought you did a really good job with the
Thank
spin
you.
technique.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did too. Took your time with it.
Right on.
Yeah, took your time with it. That's the thing. You hung in there.
It was really
And-
solid, yeah.
Yeah.
It felt
Yeah.
solid.
I did.
Can I say something else?
Please do.
I don't know if it's just from the angle I was seeing, it kind of looked like you were mainly close to your thumb in the middle. And like, when you did say something, you did turn, and when she said something, you turned, but it was like mainly the middle. So I don't know if that was just the angle I was sitting at or not. So I thought so.
I did have a question. you kept mentioning like you had a solid foundation for like your business and everybody was into you, and then you kept saying you didn't have a logo. So
Well, like it was more just like I personally like the reason why I said that was like I don't personally have a logo because I didn't design the clothing company doesn't exist. I didn't want to show a fake logo, but like I mean I thought about doing that. I don't know.
Why not, man? I mean,
I
it would impress
I
the hell
just
out of me
love
and all of us.
yeah.
I liked how you, when they asked you like a question and you were like, I'm just a sales rep, like I got.
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
love
talking
the company, man. I gotta get back to you on
that was a
that.
good
Even
one.
though I'm a
That was
packaging
fine.
science
I-
major, I
I-
wanted to answer those questions with like actual packaging answers, but like I don't.
I actually wanted to talk quite a bit about that, Caleb. I mean, I'm just a sales rep. I don't know that there's ever a reason you would ever want to say that. I mean, you're trying to work with these folks for a very long time, right? And you don't want to. I mean, if they ask you something you don't know, what would suffice would be, I'll get back to you, right? Never want to minimize your own position because they don't want to think that you're someone whose ability to find things out for them is limited. So don't ever put a limitation on yourself, right? Because they'll be thinking about that. Well, he said himself, he's just a sales rep. I thought this was a person who's going to be representing us, but he says he's just a sales rep. So don't ever put a limitation on yourself right there because they're going to be thinking about that in the future, even if it's kind of subconscious at the time. All right, good. Whenever someone says, "Let me ask a dumb question," use that moment as an opportunity to build affinity. All right. In other words, say, "There's no dumb moment."
I almost did.
There's no dumb question.
I wanted to hear
Say
his
that.
question so bad. But yeah, I almost did. I was like.
Because what he asked was, "Let me ask a dumb question."
Okay.
And he's like, "Okay."
Dumb question you have.
All right, good job, guys. Thank you very much.